The Last of Us Season 1 episode review video. Before I get into that, though, pretty important. If you aren't caught up to the point where I am at rewatching or watching The Last of Us, or you're just not entirely sure, then you definitely need to take the initiative and pay attention to the episode's title, which of course I'll mention as well as put in the description for you. If that happens to be the case and you're not caught up, it would be my recommendation that you don't watch this video any further to avoid any potential spoilers. And just so all of you know that don't know already, I have never played either of the Last of Us games. I've heard YouTubers talk about the games, but I've never played them myself. The reason why I started watching the TV show and am continuing to watch the TV show is because the trailer of the show before it aired looked awesome, and thus far the show is pretty good. There's just some things that I'm not really getting yet because obviously I haven't played the game. And yes, I know this episode aired on Friday night, which I'm recording this on Sunday. I wasn't home. Well, I was home, but I left about an hour before the episode started, and usually I try to watch something as soon as it airs, but just wasn't going to happen. Friday nights are a bad night for me to do that stuff, so just so you all know. This will be The Last of Us Season 1, Episode 5. The title of this episode is called Endure and Survive. And this will be my review, reaction, recap after just finishing watching the episode about, 2 hours ago. We start off with a large crowd of people, and I'm not sure if this was when the apocalypse started or shortly before the episode ended last week. I'm not entirely sure, but it was a brutal moment with, like, these citizens, like, killing first responders and dragging them through the streets and all this other chaos happening. And I think it's in the game, too, so that's something that I'm not quite sure on what it is. But we have Henry and his brother Sam, with Sam actually being hearing impaired, trying to avoid getting killed by the crazy people. I think it was more recently than when Outbreak Day happened, but I'm not 100% sure. And then Kathleen is talking to some people that have been held captive looking for Henry. Kathleen wants her men to go door to door looking for this Henry character. Eldenstein is one that is the character that showed Henry and Sam where this hidden attic is located, and he's the guy, the doctor that got killed in the last episode. It's the actor that played Gus in Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, which I was right when I saw him, I recognized him. And then 10 days have gone by since then, and we have Sam that's been painting and coloring some pictures in addition to drawing on the wall. Eldenstein hasn't returned, and they don't have any more food. Henry thinks that they can make it on foot. Henry looks outside the window and sees the truck that Joel and Ellie, Bill's truck, it crashes in the building, and then they get attacked. And then we catch up to the end of the last episode. Henry says, "We don't want to hurt you. We want to help you." He also says he's the most wanted man in Kansas City right now, and of course Joel now is a close second. Henry's going to show Joel and Ellie a way out of the city, and Henry says he's never killed anyone. There's maintenance tunnels that they can use to get far, and Henry mentions that they ran into a clicker, Joel and Ellie, and they're still alive. You're the right person for the job, because I ain't killed no clickers. They all go in the tunnels, and then Joel mentions hearing about people going underground after Outbreak Day. And then at one point, there was a whole community down there. And then we have Joel looking at a picture of Ish, a whole other story from the video game. Ish was a protector in the game, kind of like the savior, and they could have made a whole entire episode on just that character. Maybe that was a character that was featured at the beginning during that mob scene or whatever it was. I'm not 100% sure. And then we find out that, or we see that Sam and Ellie are getting along pretty good. They're bonding pretty well. And of course, Joel is being short with Henry to a degree. And we find out that Sam has leukemia from Henry, or had it at one point. And then Joel decides that it's time to leave, as they've been in this one place in these tunnels for too long, just chilling there. And then we have Perry, Kathleen's like right-hand man. He shows up in a room that Kathleen is in, and then they talk about Michael being described as this room being described as a big wooden box, and Michael would be horrified by the things that Kathleen has done, and he told her to forgive, but Kathleen, she doesn't see the point of that. And Perry says he was a great man. And there was more to it than that, but that's what I put. And then we have Joel, Ellie, Sam, and Henry almost have made it to the bridge, I guess he was talking about, where that was the end and they could get away from there. And then someone starts shooting at them. So Joel eventually goes into this house and finds out it's an old man with a beard. I guess I didn't have to say with a beard. Who cares what he looks like? He's the one shooting at him, and Joel says, just slide your gun to me and wait for another hour and don't do anything, and that's all you have to do, and I won't hurt you. But then this old man tries to shoot Joel, so Joel has to kill this old man. And then Kathleen and her militia, her forces, whatever you want to call them, they show up. And then Henry wants Kathleen to let everyone go, but they all have to die because in addition to him killing Michael, or him being the cause of Michael's death, Joel and Ellie, well, more specifically Joel, had killed somebody, and she's not going to put up with that. And then all of a sudden there's there's this vehicle that crashes into this thing, and then all of a sudden it goes in the ground, and we get a crap ton of infected people, clickers, come out from this underground hole. And there's also a giant clicker that comes out of the hole as well. And the giant clicker kills Perry. We saw him a lot. What a great character. A lot of characters die real quick on the show. Don't get attached to anybody too soon. It's almost like Game of Thrones and The Walking Dead. And then Kathleen is able to catch up with Joel, Ellie, Henry, and Sam. And she tells them to stop, and she's going to kill them. But she's attacked and killed by a clicker, just a regular clicker person. And Joel tells Henry he doesn't know how he's getting to Wyoming, probably walking, but if you want to come with, you can. And Henry's like, yeah, okay. And then Sam and Ellie are talking in this room. They go to like some hotel sort of thing. I don't know what it specifically was. But Sam asks Ellie if she's scared, and she's kind of plays it off at first, but she's like, yeah, I'm scared, but I just deal with shit, because otherwise I'd just be terrified of everything. No such time. And then Sam reveals to Ellie on his pad, like it's like an Etch-a-Sketch thing, that he is infected. He got bitten by one of the clickers when they were trying to get him and his brother were hiding under a car. So Ellie tells Sam that her blood is the medicine, and Ellie cuts herself with a knife and wipes the blood on the area where Sam was infected at on his ankle. And then Sam asks Ellie to stay awake with her. Stay awake with him. I must have mistyped something or misput something. And Ellie says, of course. And then it turns out that Ellie had fallen asleep. And when she wakes up in the morning, Sam is sitting at the end of the bed, so to speak. And Ellie taps Sam like, hey. And then Sam has turned and he aggressively attacks Ellie. And then they end up in the room where Joel and the living quarters where Joel and Henry are. And Joel wants to shoot Sam as he reached for the gun, but Henry grabbed the gun, preventing Joel from shooting Sam. And then Joel, he even shoots at Joel himself, and then Henry shoots Sam. And Henry is just devastated that he just killed his little brother, and shoots and kills himself. So we have Joel and Ellie bury Henry and Sam, and Ellie puts on Sam's pad, on his grave, she puts, I'm sorry on the pad. And then Joel and Ellie head west to end the episode. So, pretty crazy stuff. I wish I would have knew a little bit more about the opening scene of this episode. I think I'm going to research it right now, and I should have did that before I recorded this, but I didn't. But pretty good stuff with the swarm of clickers and the giant clicker. That was pretty awesome. I'm going to give this episode a 10 out of 10. And then my characters of the episode for the males, I really liked Henry's character. Now, I don't know if Henry survives in the game, but I really enjoyed his character and wish he would have lasted longer. Maybe even a more permanent character, just because I really liked him. Now, Sam, he's a little kid, and he didn't really do all that much, but it was nice character bonding for them. And then for the females, well, I mean, Kathleen really wasn't a force this episode, so I'm going to give it to Ellie, because Ellie bonded with Sam. It seemed like they were like really close, even though they had just met, and she did a good job in this particular episode. So you've heard what I have to say. Now, it's your turn. If you're a fan of The Last of Us, which I hope you are because you're watching or listening to this video, please make sure that you smash that like button. Reason why, it does help me out with the YouTube algorithm. Share the video with anybody you know. Put this video on any one of your social media platforms. Don't forget to sound off in the comment section about what your thoughts are on this episode. What would you score the episode? And whom would be your favorite, your character, your standout or MVP character for the males and the females? Not many choices. And let me know any other tidbits about the episode, like the beginning, if there's anything that I didn't explain as good as you probably would have, or anything else that you want to add to it. And then, of course, last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button. Subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out. You're watching the video anyway. Join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special. And JDev will return.